Welcome into Buccaneers Total Access, brought to you by Hooters, the original wing joint since 1983. Casey Phillips here with my very special guest, Jordan Whitehead. Jordan, thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
And congrats on that win. That was a big one for a lot of different reasons. Tell me what it felt like out there and what it meant to the team.
Right. No. Well, for me, it was my first game back in a couple of weeks, so it was just good being back with the team, with the defense. Just miss being with those guys. How fun it is being out there. Just how the guys just like, it's our job, but they take it like, it's a game for us, so we have fun. We want each other to do good, so it was good being back out there, feeling that energy, feeling that love with the brotherhood. So it was good. For a good win too. Great win.
Yeah, and to know, what was kind of the mindset going in, and then how it felt afterward, where like you must win this game, but then you still didn't know anything different when the game ended in terms of the playoff scenario, and then talking about waiting to see what happened with that game last night. What was that like in the locker room, and just the mindset for what this win could or couldn't mean?
So it was a must win. It was a playoff game for us, so we needed to win first thing. So after that, they gave the Falcons the night game, so it was definitely a wait. Everybody probably waited up. I tried to, so I woke up kind of after the game. I asked my dad to score, and he gave me the,
he fell asleep in the middle trying to watch it.
I tried to watch it. So it was, for the guys, it was just, we just got to do our part. We got to win. I still got a big game this week too coming up, so we just got need to focus in, just to make sure our playoff hope's still alive.
And what did you guys think of the defensive performance overall in the game?
No, it started off a little slow the first drive, but after that. They had one play before half. It should have been covered up, but it was a good play, good throw by the quarterback. After that, we shut a pitch out, or we had it was a pitch. We had a 0, no points, I think was.
Yeah, bunch of 3 and outs too.
Bunch of 3 and outs. Mm-hmm. See, I had to go back and watch it. Once when you're in the midst of it, it's like you forget what happens a little bit. But
are you someone that once the game ends, you just kind of like have reset?
No, for me, I go back and watch the plays that. I know I should have made, or just little things, and I watch it over and over again. But I watch it real fast. Right when I get home, I like check to see if it's up, and then I'll just go through it really briefly, really quick, and then after like today, I'll watch it again, and I'll just be like, it just makes me the plays that I should have made. It makes me upset. So all week I think about those. So I just gotta try to eliminate that.
How are you in film session? Like, what is that like when you watch one and you're like, oh, I wish I hadn't I hadn't played like that, or I wish I'd made this play or something. And then also having to do it again in film session with the team. Like you said, like this is a multiple time thing. What is that like? And what is it like in the film room, even when you guys are talking about this? And I imagine that's just tough, like watching in front of other guys if there's a play you feel like you didn't make that you wanted to.
Yeah, before the play even gets shown on the film, I pretty much know what's going to happen and what's going on. So, I kind of, Antoine sitting next to me, I'll be like, tell him right before, like, I should have did this, huh? Yeah. And like, kind of vice versa, we do the same thing. But, it's just, criticism. It's not nothing pretty much that everybody makes mistakes. And, it's good just to hear the feedback for other players too, and your position, just knowing like what you would have done in this situation. And I'm always asking what you would have done, even on the plays I make. Just it's just trying to get better little by little, taking apart a little bit from everybody's game.
Yeah, you mentioned how you guys allowed that quick touchdown at the beginning, but then after that, it was three and outs in a row after that opening touchdown. And do you remember anything sort of shifting, either things that were being said or what guys were doing, or just can you remember either at that point or also at halftime, guys saying something, or what seemed to happen to let you guys make some of those shifts?
I think it was just like, it was a kind of a busted play with the touchdown. So it was just like we had to just regroup, get back to really like the fundamentals, just like, day one camp stuff, reading our keys. It was a busted coverage by us. So I think after that drive, it was kind of settled down. They got one before the half, a big play. But after that, it was kind of still after that big play, it was kind of just like everybody relax. Don't get too out of whack right now. It's 14 points. It was on us. It wasn't nothing they did. It was things that we'd done wrong. So it was just things that we could correct, and that's kind of what we did.
Are you a guy who would say something in a scenario if things aren't going well, or are you more of the you just kind of go about your business, lead by example, or are you a guy who would ever say much, either in a huddle or in a locker room?
No, definitely in the huddle. I'm definitely always talking in the huddle. Just making sure everybody's ready to go. Just things like safety has to communicate the plays, the calls anyway. So it's just always ongoing talking. But when we get to the sideline, if something went wrong, definitely just trying to figure out, make sure everybody's on the same page. So once everybody gets on the same page, either the coach is talking about it, or I'm going up to, Zion or Dean, or, even the linebacker Levante, just making sure everybody does the same. When something goes wrong, everybody tries to just make sure, because the team will go back to that same play later in the game. So we just want to have it covered, so we don't get, bit again.
I'm sure you're always having to keep Levante in line. We know how much he really just doesn't know what he's doing out there. I'm sure that's the one you have to get on more than anybody, right?
Levante is definitely the calm, but make sure everybody, he gives you that look when he calls the plays, you go look into your eyes, you all ready. He doesn't really say it, but you just got to, you got to be ready.
He strikes me as that parent that's like, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. Where you're like, I don't want to let down dad out here.
Exactly. If he's not going to scream at you, but he'll definitely give you.
You'll know.
Come on, man.
So tell me the blocked punt. Tell me your reaction as you watch this happen,
Right.
and also just the hilarity that was the duck on the field. We're showing that, the block punt, just the whole chaos of that
Right.
30 seconds.
I was just on the way in talking to my friend back home, and I was telling him about the play, and I was like, there was a duck on the field, and I was looking at the Jumbotron, but I didn't know if it was animated, they just put the duck on the field, so I was trying to figure it out.
They were just trying to distract them.
I just thought they were just, they do a lot of things in the NFL games now, so. And then I asked Antoine, I was like, after they blocked it, I was like, who blocked it? He was like, I had to guess, probably TT, and then I was like, they said Joe, we were like, okay, JJ scored, so it was just defensive guys, blocking it, picking it up. So it was one of those celebrate things. Good for JJ, good for Joe blocking that punt. Thought it was TT, and then everybody thought the duck was the good luck. So it was funny.
We need a new mascot on the sideline now with this at all times. We're talking to Jordan Whitehead. And did you hear the fans chanting for the duck?
The ducky
thing.
It was funny with the ducky. It was just
that's
perfect
awesome.
timing.
And I know, man, that 5 sacks for y'all in this game. That's a big number. It's a huge stat. Tell me why you think, watching some of these guys, why was this a game where there was a lot of pressure on the defense, and just what was it like for you watching 5 different guys all come up with a sack?
Wow, I didn't know it was 5 different guys. Well, it's just with, Coach Bowles' defense, that's going to happen. It's going to create pressure. With a quarterback, young quarterback, playing great, but with that defense and all the type of calls he has on third down, for sure, we expect to get sacks like that. So I think it was just, great with coverage and the rush, just getting there. A lot of different guys getting sacks. It means they were all doing great things yesterday. So it was a great team effort, great defense effort. Eliminate the 2 big plays. That's a 0 points. So
yeah, and I know Kalijah got one. I think he's up to 7.5 on the season now, which is crazy, and especially at his spot and role, and watching he and Vita both just be,
right.
A lot of times leading the team in sacks.
Right.
What has that been like to watch, and to how it affects even the secondary and the way you guys are able to play, when it's one thing to get pressure from the outsides, but to know that you got guys like Vita and Kalijah coming up the middle, wreaking havoc.
Yeah, with Vita, you would think, he's a run stopper, but this is the last couple years, I haven't been here, but the last couple years I've seen Vita had the most sacks. And then this year I see he's getting to the quarterback. Bowles creates different blitzes and different pass for the D lineman. He wraps around sometimes. Kalijah too, he came free from outside coming in yesterday. So it was just the way they could move and the speed of, that's Vita. Kalijah's fast, and Vita just, you think he's just a bull rusher, but then he wraps around and he shows his speed too. Then both of them guys dropping in coverage sometimes in the last couple weeks.
Wild.
Kalijah had a little PBU. So it's good to see those guys, being versatile and being able to move around.
Do you remember even the first time you learned that Bowles was going to be like, hey, Vita, drop in coverage as you guys are going through things? Do you remember what went through your mind?
I still, every time it happens, I'm still it does work. So you can't even be mad at it. But it's always just hey, I can't believe he doesn't coverage. But then you see the in game, Kalijah makes a PBU, and you're okay, it works. So you can't even, you got to rock with it.
That's wild. And then, man, let's talk a little bit about Baker's game. So he's now had games of at least 4 passing touchdowns 4 times this year, which is tied with Lamar Jackson for the most in the NFL this season. He had 5 total touchdown passes for only the 2nd time in his career. I mean, just some wild stats out there. What is it like when you guys are out there, you've gotten your stop, you go to the bench, and just watching what he's been able to do and what he did in this game? Yeah,
all year for me, I love seeing Bake out there. He he milks like 6 minutes sometimes down the clock, 7 minutes off the clock.
You're like, yes,
and yeah,
love
it's
this.
just like it is just fun. He's fun to watch. You know, you never know what's going to happen. It was funny after the game yesterday. I just was like, Bake, I never asked any quarterback I played with for a jersey, but I'm gonna need one of yours. And it's just like, you know, I didn't really get to see Bake in his early years, and he was playing, he was doing great too. But like just being on the same team with him, you know, you get to really get to feel how much fun he is playing with the leader that he is, and just like, you know, like he loves to win. So you know, you just follow the lead.
That's awesome. And then just the young guys on the team also. This rookie class has been doing so much, and especially looking at Jalen McMillan and Bucky Irving of what they've done. So Jalen ends up with 4 straight games now with a touchdown, tied for the 4th longest streak by a rookie in NFL history. Bucky, of course, went over 1,000 yards. Just to see young guys like that contributing in such a big way, and for you thinking back to your rookie year and just what it's like to get thrust into a pretty big role early on in your career, what's it like to watch those two guys?
It's good to see, especially just two guys that work every day. I know for Bucky, you know, he's the first one in the building. You know, he's always just doing the right thing in here, trying to get his body right, working hard out practice. And same with Jalen. You know, he had this injury, so we spent a little bit of time in training room. At one point, we were just always talking and just asking a lot of questions. He was asking a lot of questions and just trying to get him right, how just take care of your body and things like that. So it's just good to see those two guys. You know, just doing great things like that. Bucky went over 1,000 yesterday. That was great to see. I sent him a highlight before the game, my running back days in college. And I told him that was the reason why yesterday. So no, it's good to see just two young guys, you know, especially all the young guys that's out there. Taki on defense too, just, you know, producing every week. It's good to see.
Even with, you know, the young guys doing their thing, old head Mike Evans just keeps trucking and just looks like he is not aging, and it is so incredible to see. And now the fact that he has a shot again at 1,000 yards. What is it like for you guys all watching this on the team, and I'm sure rooting for it as well, to be watching what he's doing on the field after so long, and, you know, Walter Payton nominee, and just the guy that he's been for you guys to watch all these years? Yeah,
you know, with Mike, his game speaks for itself. It's just how he is, like, you know, off the field with everybody. You know, he's just one of the calmest, coolest guys, you know. Just, you know, he doesn't care about nothing outside, no flashiness, nothing about him. He just, you know, he's a great person in everything he does. So you like the Walter Payton Man of the Year award, like that's no just coincidence that it happens. You know, you expect that out of him. And, you know, I always said coming in, that's my favorite receiver, you know, playing with him. And 7 years go by, and I still say the same thing to everybody, like, Mike's my favorite receiver. So, you know, he's unstoppable in the red zone. You throw it up to him, he's going to catch it. And I say throw a fade to him every play. That's my trick and Matty. You know, you throw it up to Mike, you got a 90% chance of a PR. He's catching it. So
I like that. And then also, you mentioned you playing running back in the day. Does Liam Cohen know this? Have we mentioned this to him? How much are you live? I mean, we've seen Vita get a chance to go out there and fullback. What about you?
No, this is always what I say. Before I say I still didn't get a pick 6 yet. So once I do that,
we got to do that.
I'll
get
get some leverage for me. You know, practice here and there. I'll go back and catch some punts just to let them know that, you know, just in case you need a punt returner.
Oh, okay.
So it's definitely, I got to get a pick 6 first. So
okay, that's a fair rule.
That's a goal.
That's a fair rule. All right, we're going to take a quick break here on Buccaneers Total Access, brought to you by Hooters, the original wing joint since 1983. This is Buccaneers Radio. Welcome back into Buccaneers Total Access, brought to you by Hooters, the original wing joint since 1983. Casey Phillips here with Jordan Whitehead. Also, I realize we have to talk about the fact that Shaq Barrett is back. Right. Tell me your reaction to when you heard he was getting re-signed, and then what it was like to see him for the first time.
I seen like a couple weeks early on in the season, Shaq was trying to come back, but they didn't know if he was just trying to come back out of retirement or come back to the Bucs. And everybody kind of thought he was like, if he comes back, he comes back to the Bucs. So just hearing that news, you know, it's actually right now in this point of the season, it's great to have a pass rusher like Shaq coming in fresh.
Yeah.
You know what he can do. So I'm excited for him to get out there. I thought he was going to be active this week, really, but you know, I know he's excited to be back with the guys. Kind of feels like back in the, you know, a couple years ago when I was here, just all the guys being back, missing a couple, but it feels like home, definitely.
Yeah, that's huge. And I mean, how many people now are on the team that you feel like were like some of your close guys and people you knew from before even?
Yes. I could probably just maybe not like 3 or 4 guys that are not here, but other than that, bringing Shaq back, that's the D line kind of brought back together, missing a couple obviously, but DB wise, same. It's just a couple out the group, but with Mike coming back, not too long ago, that kind of just brought the safety, especially in the safety group, that brought us all back together. So
that's wild. I know for you, you mentioned that you dealt with the injury earlier. Shaq, it's going to be interesting to watch him come back after being out for a little bit. For you, how did you feel after missing some time in this game? Did you feel 100%? And where were you at in terms of just being in football shape and then in physical health as you enter this home stretch here?
Right. So it's like, it definitely was when you're week after week just going playing, you're just used to that. And then 4 weeks straight, it's kind of like, it's a long time of you missing out of football.
It's a big chunk of the season.
Yeah, big chunk of the season. And just, it's kind of, you can practice and do all types of drills that you do during the week. Definitely can condition, but it's like nothing like playing a game. So just being back out there, you definitely felt a little slow at the beginning. Legs felt like I was running in the mud a little bit. And still just trying to, first time really using my left side, trying to get, just get off blocks and make tackles and things like that. It's hard to stimulate that during the week in practice. It was, I feel good this morning coming out there. I do feel good.
That's impressive. The day after a game to say I'm feeling good. That's
we only have,
sign.
I think, 48 snaps. So it wasn't, I know sometimes it gets 65, 70s, up there. So it was a good day of defense.
Those 3 and outs, you were like, yes.
We needed, much needed. So I just, got another week of rehabbing. Still got to stay on top of it. And, should just get better week after week.
Did you not seem to really know right away that your injury was bad? It seemed like you didn't know, from what I could tell, right away that it was like, oh, this could be bad. Like you're ready to just hop back out there, right?
So at first I was like, I knew something was in my chest, but I didn't know how bad it could be. And then, you always hear people tearing their pec and they got to get surgery. So that was just one thing on my mind. So I was like probably panicking about that a little bit. But it kind of got more painful as I left and went to the locker room. It's kind of like the adrenaline probably went down a little bit. You settled down. And then, it kind of healed up pretty quick, I would say, 4 weeks. But it seemed like it healed up quicker than I could have been out much longer. So.
Yeah, for sure. And then we heard, Christian Izzian ended up with a similar situation, just got put on IR. And tell me just for him, what it's been like for you to watch what he's been able to do this year and all the different positions he's had to play and just what he's come to mean to this defense as a guy who just got here as this undrafted free agent last year to now be this like super important cog in the defense. Yeah,
Izzy plays with a lot of effort, and that's how he makes a lot of his plays. He's smart. I got to play with him early on when Antoine went out, so it was just like playing with him. I think the Detroit game was my first time really playing with him. It was just like playing with a veteran back there. He was, communicating, coming down, making plays, excited, So it was just, I love playing with him. Love playing with guys like that. He plays his heart out. Makes sure he wants to do the right thing every play. He's always asking questions to get better. Him going out with the kind of the same injury is just, playing hard like that. You never know what's going to happen. But that's my dog, so I'm definitely hoping he gets back quick, healthy or fast recovery. And next year, big things from him, definitely. Yeah, for sure. We're talking to Jordan Whitehead. Tell me, for you, going back to when you ended up leaving here and going to the Jets, what was that transition like for you? If you only played your career here to then go somewhere completely new, whole new team, what was that process like for you, and what stands out about it? Right. So, always when you go somewhere different, it's going to be a different change, and it's going to be a little time. It's going to take a little time getting used to. So, it's like coming here my first time. You got to get to know the guys, learning a new defense, things like that. It was interesting. I did like towards the end of middle to end. I was like, it was nice to see the other side of things and all that stuff. Playing with Aaron Rodgers, another great quarterback. I was like, I always get blessed playing with the GOATs. Tom Brady, Aaron. So it's just like, I gotta say Bake because the Bake's rolling. Absolutely. But it was cool, just to get away, to see a different side, like I said. But then coming back was definitely felt like it was home. This definitely, I love being here. I love playing with Coach Bowles and this defense. I always say it's the most fun, exciting defense to be a part of, especially for safety. So tell me why that is. Explain kind of what his defense
does for safeties, expects of safeties, and especially knowing that he played safety, I'm sure the expectations are a wee bit high for you guys, maybe even compared to everybody else on the team.
Right. For every position, it's fun, I would say. Just, kind of knowing the defense now, like you do a lot of different things. You're not just in one spot the whole game. That's what makes a lot of it fun. But for safeties, it's disguising. You're not just like told just to sit back, disguise, or sit back and just like at 10 yards and do this. Like Coach Bowles lets you be free. If you want to fake a blitz, if you want to line on a line on the line of scrimmage and get back to the middle of the field, like you could do a lot of different things. And it's fun. It's a lot to learn, but once you get it and once you know it, it's very exciting. So I just, I think it's fun because you get to blitz, you get to play coverage, you get to play man, zone, and it's a different call every play. So it's like you're doing something different every play.
And maybe what do people not know about Coach Bowles that, we see him doing the press conferences and that stuff, not as much in the meeting rooms or at practice. You've now known him for a really long time, played in his defense for a really long time.
Right.
What are the things that stand out to you about who he is as a coach and a person?
Right. Coach Bowles is, I would think you would see that he's always calm and he's just, he's cool and quiet. And that's how he is, but he's definitely a jokester. He's always cracking jokes when he's watching film or anytime. Like if you just talk to him regular, he's always roasting people. And then when you watch film with him, you just see how smart he is. Also, it's one thing where it just happens, but once you see like X's and O's and how he thinks it's going to work, and it works the way he says it is too. It's like dang it. Yeah, it's like that's what kind of makes it fun, like playing for him. When you get to like understand why he's calling it or how he came up with some blitz.
And has he shown you his game film from when he played at all? Have you seen any of this?
I actually haven't seen any game film with him.
I've heard he's shown it to a few people. I didn't know if you were one of them.
That's something I got to bring up.
Yeah, we might want to see this a little bit. And had you heard that he was a radio DJ back when he was a player in the NFL?
He told me that story. He did. When we was watching film with him one day, he told us the story. He was wanted to be he was DJing and had all his sets and things while he was playing.
Yeah, which is wild. What was your first thought when you heard that?
I kind of was like, okay, like throw it off a little bit, but then he's always listening to music.
Yep.
He always got the music on. When we're watching film, the music's in the background. So I was like, he definitely, okay, I can see that. He likes music. So it was kind of, when he said that, it was like, okay, that makes sense.
What music is the choice for film session? Is it different each time?
It's different each time, but it's always some throwback, like some old school. It's always like some calm music. It's good music though.
Does that make it better if he's roasting you? Like if he's roasting you and there's like some nice calm music in the background? When you're in there,
when you watch film up in the office, it's a little calmer, Yeah. Once you get in that meeting room, though, it's
a little more silent and quiet.
Exactly.
So, we talked about the transition of you going to the Jets. How did you feel like you were the same or different as a player or person when you came back here after having that experience as compared to maybe just staying here the whole time? How did that end up influencing you?
So it's two totally different defenses, two different coaching styles. So it was great both ways. I learned a lot just being with Coach Rapone specifically because that's my position coach. So he taught me a lot, just like how to read a surface with the linemen and everybody pulling and things like that, which I never learned that because college is a little different. So it's my first time really understanding that. And then going to the Jets, I had a coach that played in the league 10 years, safety actually. So he kind of just, things that he got beat on, he kind of taught, and he taught that way to the players. And it was cool to just, he kind of went through like the steps of if you're in the middle of the field, this is how you should look at it, this and that. So it was good. And then coming back, putting both together, even up at the Jets, putting like what I learned in the run game and, with Coach Rapone really teaching me surface, it was like, that's all I was doing up there too. So it was like it helped me out tremendously. So now just implementing both in my game is definitely going to go a long way. Definitely just still trying to just get better with it. I kind of take drills, off-season drills from both sides and put them together. And that's kind of where I feel like I can maximize my game.
You mentioned Coach Rapone, your safeties coach here, and I will never forget the video of his reaction to finding out you were coming back. It was very adorable. He was very excited. And I know you got to see it at some point too. What was it like for you to realize how excited people were to have you back?
You know, it's always a great feeling when you know you want that you're welcomed and they want you where you are. And I feel like even with the Jets, it was a way. But Coach Rapone, you know, how he really felt. That's how he really feels it.
Yeah, you weren't even there.
You want to play for guys like that. Exactly. Yeah, it's like you want to play for them. It's all the coaches on the staff, and especially the defense, because I spend a lot of time around them. You know, they all care about their guys like that, especially Coach Rapone, obviously. So it's a hometown. It's right up the street from me back home. So it's a little connection there.
I like that. Yeah, you've got a few connections like that. I know also our strength coach, AP, was your strength coach back in the day.
That's a crazy story. Just
tell us how
randomly. You know, it's a small town where we from, so it's like kind of everybody knows each other. But I was maybe a sophomore or junior in high school, and you know, I didn't really know AP that much back then, but he was the strength coach, and I just remember kind of doing the similar workouts that we do now. Yeah, you know, he's gotten a lot smarter and got a lot better, obviously, like as you know time progressed. But it was kind of like the same stuff. Like he was ahead of the game back in the day. And it was like, you know, it's cool for him now just to be my coach, and how we got that connection. I could just talk to him about anything. You know, I could talk. He brings me back home when we talk, and it's the same with a couple other guys in the building. So it's just cool to have that connection in this building. Like every day, you talking about home.
Yeah, that's so cool. And I've definitely heard, and I think from AP, although now I'm thinking he also might be a little biased on this, that you might be pound for pound the strongest guy on the team. Would you agree with that?
I still agree with that.
You still agree with that?
I still agree with that.
Of course you do. I mean, what was I expecting you to be like, no, it's not me.
Yeah, no, definitely.
What is something, give us some context of what you lift in the weight room.
So when I was coming out of college, I would definitely say I had some numbers. Like we was always doing max lifts in college, and
of course y'all were. Yeah,
that was college days, right? So now I kind of just like I'm smarter with my lifts, do more reps, less weight. But if somebody challenged me, if they want to lift and challenge me 375 on the squat, or 315, 375 on the bench, I'm a challenge and I'm gonna win. So
you're gonna win. I love it. I'm here for it. All right, we're gonna take another break here on Buccaneers Total Access, brought to you by Hooters, the original wing joint since 1983. This is Buccaneers Radio. Welcome back into Buccaneers Total Access, brought to you by Hooters, the original wing joint since 1983. Casey Phillips here with safety Jordan Whitehead. So, man, the injuries this year on the secondary have been one of the wildest things I have ever seen. That not one game have the original 5 DBs that were planned to start played a whole game together. Not one.
Wow.
And I have to imagine that for most teams, that could potentially be a death sentence of like, that's an important group of people who need communication, who need chemistry. How do you feel like you guys have managed to still be in this position of like fighting for this playoff spot, winning as many games as you have, when there's been a different person playing next to you, potentially every game or even mid-game?
Right. You know, that's the NFL. So the backups, and there is no backups. You know, the guys that's next up to play, there should be no drop off. If it is, it should be slight, if anything. So I think this year, though, like I said, Izzy's playing, he was playing, great ball, making a lot of tackles, getting his hands on balls, and, creating a lot of turnovers. So it was like he wasn't dropping off from anything, and he wasn't projected to start. And he probably started most of the games this year. So that's always good. And then Kayvon, him leaving and coming back was big for us, just because that was a guy that knows the defense, works hard every day. So you expect for him to make plays, and he had been making a lot of tackles, a lot of big plays for us the last couple of weeks. Also, who else that had? And Mike had a hamstring injury when he came in, so him to bounce back quick from that. And now he's starting. It's like you said, you never know who's going to be out there. Josh Hayes out there playing a lot. Tyke went down for a little bit also. So it's like everybody got their little chance or fair share of getting hurt this year. So, it's hopefully playoff stretch. We win this game and we get everybody back healthy for the playoffs.
How does it affect you having someone different out there? Because I know sometimes I'll hear things about how, I think Zion mentioned that when he knows Antoine's out there with him, that they have a certain thing they even communicate of, if you're out here, you do this, then I do this. How much does that affect for you guys and the decisions you have to make in that split second? You have so little reaction time having to think about that.
Right. So there's a lot of calls. So I know during the week, me and Antoine kind of were on the same page. Like, if it's this call, like, you're going to do this. You do this. Like, it was kind of like there's at least 10 calls that it's like that. So it's just you got to make sure whoever's next to you that week that you get with them during the week, and you just kind of make sure, like, if this is called, like, you're always going to do that just because it's a lot. So you got to make sure everybody's on the same page, especially with you two. If you two are on the same page as the safeties, we pretty much could clean up and fix the wrong situation if somebody's in the wrong spot. So it's definitely just a lot of communication during the film session. As long as you pay attention to that film session and the walkthroughs and that practice, it's pretty much that's like all you need. You do that. It's a lot of communication goes down during that time, and not too much after that. It's when it's the game. It's easy. It's like practice is the hard part. You get a lot of different looks. In a game, it's kind of you get the same couple of looks. So once you get in practice and it's just big. You watch that film and you come back to questions. Like, always got to come back to the meeting with questions, and then you solve it from there.
And I know also you brought up Tyke Smith, that as we mentioned, all these rookies and young guys that are having to really contribute in some big ways. And we talked about how much Bowles expects of his safeties in a defense. I know he also expects a lot of his nickels. Right. So tell me what it's been like watching Tyke come in with such a football IQ so early in his career to be able to handle a Todd Bowles defense as the nickel. Right.
That's what, from the day he drafted him, I remember Coach Bowles just being like he's a great player. Like, he knows he's smart, pretty much what he was saying. Yeah. And then when I was talking to Tyke before, like during camp, he was kind of saying like they kind of ran similar things at Georgia. And I was just like, when I was in college, like it was nothing like this. So I was like, for him to pick up, I was watching rookie minicamp or practice. And it's something that I just learned probably a couple years ago, and the cover 3 dropped, and he picked it off, and I was like, you just could tell he was ahead of the game after that one play. So it's just every week, he's smart, he's calm, he doesn't panic out there at all. You would think, we were just talking about it the other day, you would think he's a vet the way he acts in the locker room, and just like the guy he is, you would think he's like a vet that's been in the league.
That's pretty cool.
We call him old. He's an old head.
He's already an old head as a rookie. That's pretty impressive. And I know also now we're talking to Jordan Whitehead. You and Antoine had to be so excited to get a chance to play next to each other again. And I know because of injuries, it hasn't happened as much as we would have wanted to this season. But what are the things that you're most excited about? Even just watching the way Antoine's grown over the course of his career, getting his deal this last offseason, and then now you two getting reunited here to try to do it again later on in both of your careers. What do you notice about him, and what are the ways you think you two can impact each other if we get a chance to really get you both back out there and healthy?
Right. It's kind of just, for me, it kind of just feels like from the day he came in, it's like the same person. And that's in a good way. Like, he's always been him. And same for me, just like we always just had a connection on the field, off the field. We're playing off each other, kind of just like if he's down, I'm high. If I'm down, he's high. It's kind of just like we could just, you do this, I do that. And, we haven't been out there together, but when we are, hopefully coming up this last this playoff stretch, we get to make a lot of plays. Once we really get going, we haven't got going together yet. He had his big plays. I had my here and there. So it's kind of just like once we both out there coming up, it'll be special.
And then what was it like to also, like you said, to reunite, then get Mike Edwards back? I feel like just getting the whole band back together over there. What was it like getting him back, and then just kind of the type of player he is now coming back from injury as well? Right.
You know what to expect out of Mike. He's going for that ball.
Are you ever jealous? Let's be real. Like, this guy per play, per snap he's out there, has to have the highest interception rate in the history of the league. I don't know these stats. I'm just making this up, but it's unbelievable.
There was a play when when I was here before, Mike was supposed to come in, and he was like, "You got this one," and I ended up getting a pick.
I love it. You got it.
You got this, and I ended up getting a pick, and it was like, you can't even be mad. Like, me and Mike was just like, we just got to get a pick. One of us got to get a pick.
So you just got to start stealing his reps, is what I'm hearing. If he's supposed to go in, you're going to be like, no, this one's mine, because it means there's a pick coming.
There might be a pick coming, Mike.
That's hilarious. How about also now looking at Jamel? Obviously you've known him since basically the start of his career. Right. Tell me what you've seen from him and the way he's grown into being this starting outside guy, especially from rookie year to this year. Right.
No, it's kind of the same too. Jamel's always been the same guy, but player wise, he's definitely grown a lot. Just coming up to tackle. You can't really get a fade ball on him ever. His speed, you think he's he's out there. You don't know how fast he is. I would say like he's probably one of the fastest guys still on the team. So it's hard to get a fade ball on him. And then he's smart. He's up there always watching film with Coach Bowles. He always knows what to expect. He knows the routes. He knows what to expect. He knows how to play them. So he has a lot of experience out there too. So for him, it's just just keep being consistent. And this defense, it's just as a corner, it's hard too because you're asked to do a lot. You got to make tackles. You got to blitz. You got to fit in the run game, and you got to cover the best receiver. So it's a lot, and he does a great job of it.
Yeah, and Zion, I feel like, has been awarded one of the most improved player awards on the team. That it just feels like each year he has taken these big jumps.
Right.
And I remember Coach Ross said something about that in recent years of like, yeah, I'm predicting Zion's going to be the guy. And then it turned out that prediction came true. How do you think he's been able to make these jumps? What are the things that we knew he always had those physical skills? Like he definitely what the Bowles cornerback prototype is if he could build someone. What have you seen about why he's made these big jumps in growth?
I remember watching last year and I was just texting some of the guys like who's that 27? Like who is that?
Yeah.
And there's he was playing safety, so I was just like asking, and him playing every position on the field definitely makes it easier for him out there. Just if you play safety and you could play corner, you get two totally different perspectives. Just being out there at those positions. So for him to do that and pretty much master both of them, like make plays at both of them, there's no question that why he's playing how he is, and he's a great cover guy. He's smart. He's always in the right position. So it's just, you expect that out of a guy that does all the good things, all the little things right. And in the weight room, with him and Dean, I always like, those are two guys that's probably, I'm like, man, they might got me right now.
Oh, I like it. I like it. And I know you did you have like a weight room growing up that was like in your house? That this is where you like started cultivating this?
I had the garage weight room.
The garage,
it was like, little old weights. So it was always like my uncle always had us lifting. That was when I didn't want to lift.
Now you like
some
it?
reps, always skipping reps, but now it's like probably made me why I don't skip any reps anymore.
Yeah. It's a good call. How early did you get started on this?
I know like my cousins were always like really on it. They probably 5th grade. It was always like drills though, like basketball drills, football drills, little things like that. And then it got to like 6th grade, 7th grade, middle school when it was like the lifting was starting to happen. And then
what was sort of your sports history growing up? Like, did you always know football was going to be the thing? Was this going to be your career, or how did the evolution kind of grow into you knowing this?
It was football always, but then I played baseball, and my mom we traveled around. I played AAU baseball. She always says, you spend all that money and time playing baseball, and then you just stop playing out of nowhere. I was like, nah, you think I can still play baseball? And the other day, I was playing this little game with Coach Foote, and somebody said something about, you look like you play baseball.
What was this game y'all were playing?
It's a little, just, it's like, you got to get it past. They got to drop it. If you drop it, you lose. If you make a bad throw, you lose. So it's kind of just like, but you go throw it quick. And I was playing like a shortstop.
Yeah, so, you're turning the quick double.
Quick double. And, I was kind of brought my hopes back alive. Maybe I could play baseball when it's all said and done.
When it's all done. What position were you?
Shortstop, pitch, play center field. And I was the cleanup hitter. So
okay.
home run hitter.
The cleanup hitter. I like it. How about, so then when did you know football could potentially be a career as well?
I always thought of, I wanted to go to the NFL. That was always my goal. With Darrelle Revis being like my cousin, it was just like,
it runs in the family. I have to.
I gotta go to that, So, but really, when I thought it was 9th grade, my friend D-Rod, Robert Foster, was 5-star recruit, and he was always getting offers. And he was everybody who came to see him would stop in just to say what's up to me real quick. So it was kind of just like, oh, I really might have a chance to go to college for this. And kind of when that started happening, it kind of came like the reality then. Maybe that it was a possibility. You never know what's going to happen. You got to work hard, got to get good grades, and all that stuff has to come in between. So it was just like, it was a possibility when 9th grade, I would say.
We're talking to Jordan Whitehead. So who did you grow up watching? I'm assuming Darrelle Revis would be part of this answer, but tell me, who else do you remember growing up watching and either just loving watching or maybe like modeling your game after?
So being from Pittsburgh, you got to be a Steelers fan. So Troy Polamalu, Ryan Clark. Troy Polamalu for sure, though, was definitely watching all his highlights. Yeah, that was my favorite. You know, he was probably the one, still to this day, I say the best safety in the game.
Wow. What was it about the way he played that you loved watching? And are there ways that you've seen now after watching that you can tell that you've tried to model certain things after that?
Right. You know, he did everything. He blitzed. He played deep. He got interceptions, one-handed, jumped over the piles. I still watch his highlights all the time, and it's like, nobody ever done it. Like, nobody's doing this right now, still to this day. So who knows what he would be doing if he played right now, especially in this defense. I know he would love this defense.
That's great. And then how about, how do you feel like having Darrelle Revis as your cousin influenced either like you said, you're kind of thinking that the NFL was a possibility or the way you played, like having someone that has shown you the way that's part of your family even has got to be so unique. Yeah, right.
Just, you know, picking his brain, you know, he always had a lot, just, you know, the mind. It was always like he was definitely he had the physical ability, but he was ahead of the game. Like, he knew what you were going to do. He was one step ahead of you. So just always when I was picking his brain, he was just like, you got to take half of his game away if you inside leverage and he can only run outside routes, just like things like that. And then obviously the competitor he is. I remember from just like when he was in high school, just, you know, he was always just like a dog, and, you know, he never wanted to lose. And when I got older, he was kind of just like, it was always that tough love with him. So it was just like, you know, I kind of just, you know, respected that and tried to, you know, mold myself after that.
And what is the mental side for you, and how has that kind of grown or changed? Because I feel like you're such a like chill, laid back, smiley, nice guy, like off the field, that it's very not the stereotypes of a DB in particular of on the field, how it would work. How are you different on and off the field? What is the mindset? What's going on in your brain when you're out there on the field?
It's just like when you're doing anything competitive, you know, you just try to win. So it's nothing crazy. Just, you know, I love the game. You know, I want to win. I want to do good. You know, you could get embarrassed out there on the field if you're slacking. So you just got to, you know, you got to take it serious. You know, it's your life, it's your livelihood. So it's just one of those things. Then you got 10 other people, you know, dependent on you. So it's just, you know, you got to play hard, and you should. If you don't have that, if it doesn't come like self-motivation, then you probably shouldn't be playing.
I like it. We're going to take a quick break here on Buccaneers Total Access, brought to you by Hooters, the original wing joint since 1983. This is Buccaneers Radio. Welcome back into Buccaneers Total Access, brought to you by Hooters, the original wing joint since 1983. Casey Phillips here with Jordan Whitehead. So we were talking about the people you love to watch growing up. How about the guys that you love to watch now across the league?
Yeah. So last year, Antoine was my favorite to watch. So it was like, but
that's Andy.
Yeah, I would say right now it's a hard one.
It's a hard one.
I'm a little biased. And I like to.
You just like to watch Antoine. You like your guys.
I like my guys.
That's fair. So, all right. How about some of the hardest people for you to play against or tackle? It could be either cover, tackle, both. Like the guys that you're like, ooh, this could be a rough day.
You know, I always said from college and now Saquon is always the. You know, that's
fair.
That's the hardest guy. Yeah.
That's fair.
We always go at it. So I was like, it's hard to tackle him. You know, he has every move in the book. So you jump over, you spin, run through you. So you
backwards
gotta,
hurdle.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta come ready. But looking like from outside in or whatever you want to call it, I think Bucky might be one of the hardest to tackle.
Yeah. And tell us why that is, because I think it's been so interesting for Bucs fans to watch him. And every running back is trying to be elusive. Right. Every running back is trying to not get tackled. Why is he not getting tackled? Especially as he's not like he's not Derrick Henry size running you over. Like, what's going on?
It's his vision. He's quick and he's strong. Like, he is strong. So I don't know what it is. It looks hard to tackle. You know, everybody you could get a clean shot on him. He's still going to at least make you miss a little bit. You might be hanging on with a shoestring. I don't know. Everybody was saying yesterday, like, maybe you can't see him back there. I'm like, no, you can see him. It's hard to get him.
That's funny. And I've been asking a lot of people this too, about just like the most annoying things that the people on the other side of the ball do? What are the things that when you're playing against someone, and it could be in practice here on your own team, or it can be in a game against the other team, what are the things that offensive guys do that you're just like, God, this is annoying?
I hate they cry too much for penalties. Because for defense it's hard nowadays too, because any hit is going to be, you might get a penalty if you hit somebody the wrong way. So it could be like little things like that, and it's like they always asking for a flag. It's like, oh, we really just playing football. Like you went for the pass, you got hit, now you want a flag. I don't like that. Just get up, you get the penalty, all right. But
move on.
And then they want to fight after. It's football.
Are you a trash talker on the field?
Yeah, I talk a lot of trash.
Yeah.
It depends. I've been more quiet.
We've mellowed out in our old age.
We mellowed out a little bit. Some games, sometimes it just depends how the game's going. Somebody has to do it. So for the other guys,
someone has to. It's not an option to not trash talk. Someone must. So I must step into the void.
Exactly. So if Izzy's out there, you ain't got to worry about it. He
doesn't say anything.
No, he's going to get it done.
He'll handle it.
He's going to get it done.
That's so funny because he seems pretty quiet off the field. So that's really interesting. He'll get it done.
He'll get it done.
Who's the biggest trash talker on the team now, in your opinion?
When KJ's out there, KJ probably will.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, KJ.
He's your answer. And as you talk about, depends on the game, depends on the situation. As we're about to play the Saints, how much do you tend to notice or feel a difference in the game when it is this rivalry that's been built, this divisional team, and the fact that I feel like it's just such a movie script now that it comes down to us playing the Saints for this playoff spot. How different does it feel playing against them and being out there in that atmosphere as compared to other games against teams maybe you don't see as often?
Right. Every time you play the Saints, I always say, when you go to New Orleans to play, it's always the crowd is crazy. It's always some bickering going on the field. So it's always going to be a tough game, too, because it's a division game. So it's good for it to be like the last game. It's a good playoff. It's a playoff game. I say it's just a step to get us ready for the real playoffs. And I'm excited. You want to play for something at the last. It's a lot to play for. So it's 17-week season. You got to finish it. You got to finish every game.
We're talking Jordan Whitehead. It's interesting. We just played the Panthers twice in a very short amount of time, but it's now been a while since the first matchup against the Saints. What do you remember about that game, about their offense, and what you guys think you might have learned from them?
Right. I remember we got up to a fast start. I know Antoine's first game back, he scooped up the fumble, took it to the first touchdown. So that was, it was like Antoine gets back, he gets to scoop up a fumble to the touchdown. I know Izzy always gives him a hard time.
The moment you get back.
Get back. I think it was the first or second drive.
Yeah.
So I just remember, we were making a lot of plays. I remember Zion got a pick. It was I think that was Rattler. Rattler played that game, but started that game. So it was just, you never know who's going to be when those different quarterbacks. You just never know what to expect because, you get the third string guys that come in, and it's hard to play against the guys that you don't have a lot of film on, or, they just bring a whole totally new, rhythm to the offense. They scramble, or, they're a different type of thrower. So you just got to be ready and be prepared. You can't take anybody lightly in the NFL because anybody can run past you and score on you, or, make you miss on a tackle. So you gotta come ready.
And I know we just had Christmas this last week. Did you guys do a gift exchange with your position group?
We did. Yes, we did. We did the safety group.
And did you get something good? And are you good at giving? Is it a secret Santa? Is it everybody gets something?
It's hard, it depends who you get. I had Antoine.
That's handy.
I just got him some clothes. It's like always come in fashion. So I was like, I know some clothes. I was like, I got some ideas for you. So
did he like it?
Yeah, he said he liked it. I got him some pants. They're comfortable, but they're a little fashionable. So you could just wear them to dinner. You can wear them anywhere, really. So I thought it was a good pick.
I like that. That's not bad. I feel like, do you feel like you two are maybe two of the more swaggy, fashionable safeties in the league?
Oh, for sure.
For sure.
Everybody got their little swag nowadays, but definitely.
Yeah, and Antoine is adventurous with the fashion.
Yeah. He has
tell me your thoughts on it.
He has a lot of different stuff. So this is my thing on it. I got a lot of different things, but I don't know if I should wear this.
I was like, you're here in all black at the moment, which I'm like, this is about right. Where you're a little bit more toned down.
I'm kind of simple now. I told my dad, I was like, I just need 100 pair of Chucks and I wear those every day, and that's me, and just like a black outfit.
Yeah.
He's like, you got all these clothes, but you wear the same thing every day.
Yeah.
I was like, kind of true. So we got a long story with mine.
And is y'all's room is decorated for Christmas? Mm-hmm. Yes, the rookies had to handle that.
They did a good job.
Yeah.
Sometime I know Antoine's rookie year. We always clowned him. He had a little Charlie Brown Christmas tree in the corner, and that was it. And
that
was it. No decorations on it. No nothing. So
how lame. How
that's
terrible.
all I'm saying. But now that that's him. Like it's like that's what you expect.
That's what you get. How did you have to decorate as a rookie?
No, I didn't.
How'd you get out of this?
Me, Carlton, I think MJ at the time. I don't know how we got out of that.
The
thing was
they probably just
back
looked
in the
at y'all
day.
and were
It was
like,
a little different back in the day. Like I would say, back in the day it was more like.
How was it
more
different?
Serious. It was
more serious. More serious.
The vets were more serious. They were like, we had some Chris Conti, Coach Keith Tandy was in there. He wasn't like you ain't had to decorate.
That's
he
hilarious.
just wanted to get the job done.
That's pretty funny. What do you remember about your rookie year in general? Of like what that adjustment was like, and then maybe even just how you're different now than that year.
As a rookie, you just always it's going to be hard for any rookies. I know with the Jets, the safety rookies, it just depends. Like the coach, it depends on the coach. Like they can make or break it. So it's like you learn. We had a great coach. He learned a lot, but you're gonna make it tough for you.
Yeah.
Coach Rapone's a very relaxed guy, and he's gonna quiz you, make sure you're on top of your stuff. But he's more of a relaxed. He's a teacher. He's like a kindergarten teacher, which his old job used to be. Was a grade school teacher. So
and he was like, I will continue to now teach kids.
So like he's like he teaches, and it's like he makes it so easy to learn just about how he goes about things, and you're always gonna get a history lesson with him.
Oh my gosh! So he's still teaching not just football, but he's teaching everything.
He's teaching everything.
What's something you've learned from Rapone outside of football? You think now?
A lot of a lot of nuggets you keep in the back of your head. I write down, but he made Antoine read Ferdinand the Bull the other day, and it was it was just a little lesson about you need to when you read you learn new things, and you read you need to keep reading.
So he assigned him essentially a book report,
and Antoine had to come in and get a book report. It's it keeps it interesting in the room.
I cannot believe this. So when you game day coming up, tell me a few things. One, what's your routines? Are you superstitious? What all goes into your game day prep?
I kind of do the same thing, but I guess you call it superstitious, but I got to get up early, eat, and then I go back to lay down. And then when it's 11 o'clock, you got to get there. I get there game day, I get there at 11 o'clock. So
no sooner.
No sooner. Yep. I know what time I'm gonna get there, and then I get there, I do my routine, stretch, roll my feet out, use the roller. From there, just go out to the field, do my warm up. I take a shower.
You take a shower right before the game?
Right before the game, every time. I don't know why, but it's kind of just.
Let me prepare for this sweat I'm about to do.
I was like, I don't know why I do that either. Kind of just, calms me down. I used to get in the cold tub, and then I was like, ooh, that was too much.
Yeah, that's a lot. That feels like a lot.
That's pretty much it, though. I make sure the shower that's probably the key ingredient. I make sure that happens every time.
That's so interesting. And then, do you care about your outfit that you show up in, since you're in a fashion event?
Sometimes it just depends how I wake up. Sometimes it's like, I'm just gonna go to work, get this dub, and go home. So it's kind of just like, nah. Sometimes not. Sometimes just like, I'm about to put a sweatsuit on and just go.
and just go with it. Mm-hmm. All right, last question, because we were laughing about how you're not the best texter of all time potentially. How many unread text messages do you have on your phone right now? You're welcome to look. You're allowed.
Yeah, can I look?
Yes, you can look.
Oh.
I want to see how many unreads.
You got it? There you go.
Unreads. It is 1,604.
1,600 unread text messages. That's all. I just wanted to end on that note.
That's hilarious, because my boy on the way here, I was like, my brother, I didn't text you back last night. And he was like, I was like, I got to do this interview too. And I was like, oh. I didn't respond to Casey the other day. She came up to me. I was telling him the whole story. He was like, that's you.
That's you. 1,600. That's what I wanted to hear. All right. Well, Jordan, thank you so much for coming on the show with us. We really appreciate it. And good luck this next week.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. And thanks to all of you guys. This has been Buccaneers Total Access, brought to you by Hooters, the original wing joint since 1983. This is Buccaneers Radio.